Ranked play is back in Black Ops 6 after today's update, and I've got you covered in this video. I'm going to be bringing you the ultimate starter pack for dominating ranked play. I'll be going over the best classes to use, and I'm not talking about my opinion. These are classes from the World Champion Optic roster, and I'm going to be giving you guys a few key tips and tricks for each of the maps that can be useful for anybody on any given game. And also just a quick breakdown of what you can expect when you jump in. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or you're just getting started, this guide will get you ranked ready. So let's dive in. By the way, my name is Redix. Welcome to the channel. We're on the road to 100k subs, so feel free to join us by subscribing down below, and hopefully by the end of this video I will have earned a like. So something new they're doing this year in ranked play is they're not outright banning all of the different ARs and SMGs and forcing you to just use what the pros are using. You're actually able to kind of experiment with some other options. Now, seeing as that's something that they did last year in Modern Warfare 3 and then they completely removed all those other weapons, I'm going to stick with giving you guys what the pros are using. That way not only can you use a very good setup, but you also don't ever have to worry about it being gone once you load up a ranked play match. And with that being said, for the people who want to use an assault rifle, the AMES 85 is the way to go, and I want to thank Optic Dashy for this class because it beams. We start with the Kepler Microflex as the Optic. Now, this is personal preference. You can use whatever you like, but the Kepler is what a lot of people use, and it's honestly, to me, the best sight in the game. It doesn't obstruct your vision, it's got one simple red dot, and it also doesn't zoom you in super far. After that, the muzzle will be the compensator. A lot of people thought the ported compensator was the way to go, but after listening to FaZe Simp talk about it, he said that the ported compensator only seems to help with the first 2 shots, and then after that, the recoil pattern goes crazy, but the muzzle compensator helps straighten out that recoil. After that, we're going to use the reinforced barrel, which was banned by the pros early on in the Black Ops 6 life cycle, but since has been removed from that ban list, and it's just the best option for the barrels. Under barrel will be the vertical foregrip. Again, just helps with that recoil control so that you can shoot people from across the map, which is what you're going to be doing a lot with an AMES 85. And the rear grip will be the ergonomic grip. It just has the most benefits. Now, some people may want to put on something like recoil springs for fire mods instead of maybe the rear grip. The reason why I didn't do that is because I need my bullet velocity. If I'm using an assault rifle, I'm going to be watching over different lanes and I want to be able to hit my target, so I'd rather just control my recoil rather than have as many attachments as possible help control the recoil. I need some bullet velocity attachments as well. Now, moving on to the SMG, this is a bit easier because the Jackal just kind of clears everything else in its class. So even though there's a lot of SMGs you can use, there's really no reason to use anything outside of the Jackal. It's the most versatile option, and I personally stick to using Shotzzy's class because I like to use movement as well quite a bit. I'm not as good as him, but I do like to move around on the map. So I'm not going to explain every attachment here. The muzzle is the compensator. You could use an optic if you want, but most people don't. Barrel is again the reinforced barrel. Now I just want to talk about one attachment on here, and that's the Ranger foregrip as the underbarrel. This is for people, like I said, if you like to have a bit of movement, this helps your movement speed. It ups it a little bit. It helps with recoil a bit too, but not quite as much as something like the vertical foregrip. So if you're not a super mobile player, even though you want to use a submachine gun, you can definitely use a different grip or a different attachment in total. But for you movement gods, or you people who want to be movement gods, the underbarrel Ranger foregrip is the way to go. The rear grip, again, ergonomic. It has just the most benefits, and then the stock being the balanced stock. If you want to throw something else on, I mean, you don't want to put a magazine on because you don't want your aim down sight speed to be lowered. You don't really need to put an optic on, so it seems like a bit of a wasted attachment unless you absolutely can't handle the Jackal's iron sights. So it's basically between putting on a stock or putting on a fire mod, and I just don't see a reason to use anything like overpressured or rapid fire or anything like that. Stick with the balanced stock. If Shotzzy says to do it, it's probably a good idea to do it. I put together a very brief list of tips for each map in the ranked play map pool, aside from red card, because that map is just horrendous. There's not a lot of tips for it. Just play patiently on it, and you probably won't play it much anyway because it gets voted out every time. But for the other 4 maps, here are a few tips that are going to help you out in any game that you play. So let's stick right here on this map. We're on protocol, and everybody that goes to the windows that we're aiming at, they're going to be expecting you to be in the windows upstairs in this building, but you can actually use the railing as cover and get this crispy line of sight right onto their window. This next line of sight is actually my favorite. This box right here, you could use it as cover and aim right at the windows through these holes, but I've killed people all over that mid platform from this line of sight as well because this is actually a hard point location. And using small things like this is the difference between being stuck in silver or gold and being able to be in diamond and crimson. Now, a lot of people know this, but this vent right here actually leads to the A bomb site down below, and you can throw a frag grenade or a stun grenade down there, and as you can see, it'll land right here on this black mark. It actually comes through this vent up top. It's hard to see with the lights in the way, but it comes through this vent right here, and there's actually 2 vents, so there's one on each side that you can utilize. and I'll show you guys right where I'll be standing if I'm planting or defusing the bomb, so you can kind of angle it wherever you need it to be. Moving on, a lot of people obviously know that this helicopter is here, and a lot of people will stand in the window just like this and aim straight. The problem is that's predictable, so what I would implore you to do is to just use this to get information. Run back and forth, throw shoulders, utilize that omni movement, and then obviously you can take gunfights out of there. You can at least use it to get information safely. Now for the last spot on protocol, if you use this railing to look out the window rather than walking up into the window, you could use it to get a little bit higher and see if the enemy's crossing or if they're using boxes towards their spawn as a head glitch or whatever the case may be. It's always good to have things like this just to get information. It doesn't always have to lead to a kill. Now moving on to the map Rewind, it seems like the map people play the most often. I got it like 4 times in a row, and a lot of people for some reason don't know you can climb on top of this pavilion at Burgers. You could also hop on this windowsill and look through the truck. Now you can't shoot through the glass, but you can look through to see if anybody's crossing through, and I've used this quite a few times already. Now something you guys have already seen in clips in this video is that you can hop on top of this trash can and look through the DVD store, and you can break this glass so you can shoot anybody in there. Again, as you've seen in this video earlier on, I have clips of me even doing that, and I only played a few games. Now in Generator Room, instead of staring at the double doors, you can lay down and use this line of sight between this wood pallet and this box. No one's ever going to see that coming. Now if you notice, all these trash cans happen to have a lot of trash filled up to the very brim, except for this trash can all the way in the back of the map. So let's do what we do best. Let's lay down in it and become the trash, and you now have a great god spot to where really no one's going to see you. You can watch over a lot of different things, including the B bomb. So if you plant the bomb right on my ping, there's almost no way for you to lose a round. Now moving on to the next fan favorite map, we're going to be on Skyline, and you can actually land on top of these glass doors. Now these doors will break throughout the match, so make sure you utilize this while you can, especially in search and destroy. You can get a good line of sight throughout the entire A-bomb room. You could also jump to the other door as well, although that side's not quite as good. And another interesting thing about these doors is they're actually a different route to get on top of the staircase if for some reason you have someone camping it, staring down. Now from there, you can actually just hop straight to this ledge, so 3 straight spots all in this same little cubby of the map. But this spot right here is probably the best on the map. There may be one other spot that I'm going to show you guys momentarily that's better. Look at how much space you can cover here. Now for some reason, this is a spot too. You can land on this awning or gazebo or whatever you want to call it, and watch the back flank, which may be useful situationally. And a lot of people obviously know you can use this piano to get into P2, but you can also land on this ledge and aim across. But what most people don't actually realize is you can... What a lot of people don't actually realize is you can land on these ledges, break the glass, and get in one of the most incredible corner spots ever. If you have the enemies looking up here, then that means they're completely checked. Your teammates are going to have free kills. If they're not looking up there, then obviously you get the free kill. And now for the spot that I said may be the most useful on the map, just showing you can use these glass doors on the other side of the map. You can see the entire kind of little kitchen grill area. But if you jump to this door on the other side, you can't miss the jump, first of all, which is great, but also it has the best angle over the entire A-bomb site. And if someone's ready for this, then they're either cheating or they got extremely lucky. And here's a spot that I've never actually seen anyone else use, but if you break this glass, you can crawl to the edge and look past this grill, and I'll show you what it looks like in the kill cam. I was basically invisible. And now moving on to the last map, we have Vault. You guys know I love these lines of sight that you can use where the enemy can't really see you at all, but you can see them, because like I said, it doesn't always have to lead to a kill. Now in this particular situation, using these boxes, you can definitely get kills here. If nothing else, at least you get the information and you can relay that to your team and let them know where the enemy is. If you get this spawn on search and destroy and you expect an enemy to be in the window above B, then you could use this little line of sight to get an angle on them as well. But we'll come back to this one momentarily. Now let's say you shoot someone up on this second level and you want to go chase them because they ran away. You have them one shot. Don't try to hop on these vases. You're not going to be able to make that jump. But what I have discovered is that if you stick to the vase on the farthest left, it is the easiest one to actually make the jump onto. You just have to use the wall next to it so that you can actually make the jump. But as you can see, if you try to use any of the other ones, there's this invisible barrier around them that makes it very difficult to time the jump correctly. And then it's even harder to jump onto the balcony from these ones. Stick to the farthest one to the left and you'll be able to make that jump and get on top of the balcony. Another situation with this balcony where if you shoot someone and they get away, you can use the diving board to hop in the window. Most people know this by now, but I figured I'd include it just in case. Lay down in these bushes by the B bomb site to have a very unpredictable spot to watch over B. Now, it's not great because if they come from any other angle, they'll be able to see you pretty clearly, but if you have someone watching your back, then you can actually use this to cover B, and if they come through this left lane, they'll be easy kills. And now going back to that balcony spot, I want to show you just how overpowered it is in Search and Destroy if you have a sniper. So creep open the doors, lay down, and obviously the quicker you do this, the better. Lay down and aim in with your sniper. and there's going to be almost no chance that they gun you down unless they have a sniper and they see you and get the one-shot kill, but most people aren't going to be that good. Now, what to expect this year in ranked play? Well, it's not that much different from years past. Actually, I don't think it's different at all. The only thing I really want to point out is how much more linear they made it and how much more clear it is what your rewards are going to be. For example, you get this crystallized diamond knife at 1,000 wins. Like, that's something we didn't have in the past. We didn't have a 1,000 win milestone. Every season we had different win milestones, but it wasn't anything like a crystallized knife. It was more like a random camo that wasn't as good as the other camos in the game. I will say this year it does seem more promising with the rewards that we have, but at the end of the day, no matter how good you play, if you lose, you're gonna lose SR. So just know you get SR for wins and you lose SR for losses. Playing solo or with a 4-man squad does not affect the amount of SR that you get. So my fellow solo queuers, we're in for another long year. They also disabled kill cams as of right now, which is insane with how many hackers are in the game, and they disabled crossplay, which is insane with how many hackers are in the game. So right now it launched in a very poor state, but you can only expect it to go up from here. This is the earliest we've received ranked play probably ever, so that means they have a lot more time to improve it than they did in years past. We'll see if they actually do though. With that being said, if there's anything you guys need to know about ranked play or any type of videos you want to see, comment them down below and I'll be more than happy to help. Also want to shout out everybody from last video who commented the word ridiculous in their comment. You guys are great. Thank you for making it that far into the video. And now if you made it this far into the video and you want to shout out in the next one, comment enable kill cams Treyarch or something along those lines. You could just put enable kill cams or something like that in your comment. I'll give you a shout out in the next video because we need kill cams. Not only do I want to know if the people I'm playing against are cheating, I also want to be able to improve my game by seeing what I did wrong from their point of view. Kill cams are integral to Call of Duty and they're huge for players who are trying to improve. So let's try and get those enabled. Let's start a little mini movement. That being said, thank you guys for watching. I've been Redix and I'll see you guys soon.